The 5S program. 5 steps to shaping up the shop floor. Step 1. Seiri, clearing up. Step 2. Seitong, organizing. Step 3. Seiso, cleaning. Step 4. Seiketsu, standardizing. Step 5. Shitsuke, training and discipline. In these videos, we would like to introduce and explain the 5S program. This is an invaluable shop floor organization and housekeeping system developed in Japan but widely applicable. All the elements of the system may seem very simple and obvious in themselves, but we hope to demonstrate how regular and organized application of the 5S program can help you to create a better working environment and ensure consistently high-quality products. Let's begin by looking at how one factory in Japan set about shaping up its shop floor. This factory produces oil and water pumps for a large car manufacturer, all the way through from parts processing to assembly. You would expect the factory to be very dirty, but in fact it is famous for its cleanliness. Has it always been like this? Not at all. Let's take a brief look at the process they have to go through to get it like this. How about this for dirt and dust? Once everyone in the company had agreed that dirt was a major problem in the production process, the company decided to go all out in its implementation of the 5S program, beginning with this major cleaning operation, which produced over 7 tons of waste. The result was the creation of a more pleasant and efficient workplace, reliable products, and more job satisfaction. But the process was not limited simply to keeping the factory clean. The company decided that pumps can be beautiful and created this pump garden, complete with traditional Japanese-style room and sunken fireplace, even a tranquil Japanese garden. But what is this all about? Why did they take things so far? Why did they want to create a workplace like this using so much time and effort and money? And how do they keep it so clean? And just what does the pump garden mean? Is it just a kind of unusual guest room, or does it have some special meaning? Let's see what the factory manager has to say about it.
It all began about 9 years ago when we decided to construct a new integrated plant to improve productivity. Up to then, we had 2 separate plants, the manufacturing plant, which was very oily and dirty, and the assembly plant, which was very clean. It was, of course, a big problem trying to combine 2 totally different working environments. Normally, if you put clean with dirty, everything ends up dirty. We decided to do it the other way around, to make everything clean, and then do our best to keep it spotless. In other words, we decided to go all the way with everyone's cooperation and really create the kind of place that we'd want to work in. We reckon that if it's possible to keep your own house clean, then it should be possible to do the same at the workplace. That meant a thorough application of the 5S program. We came up with many ideas for getting rid of dirt and oil leaks and so on, and the idea of the pump garden gradually developed as a kind of symbol of what we were trying to do. Now it's become a place where everyone can relax and feel refreshed. It's amazing what an effect our emphasis on creating a clean and well-organized workplace has had, both on morale and on general productivity.
It was indeed a bold step to try and combine 2 very different factories. But excellent results have been achieved through company-wide cooperation. The employees put forward over 20,000 suggestions as the process went on. In fact, this has become a model factory, and it is constantly receiving visitors from other companies who are eager to see the effects of a concerted and ongoing application of the 5S system. The image not only of the integrated plant, but also of the whole company has been greatly improved.
合質活動が先にあるのではなく、すべての活動が合質活動につながるのです。
What you have just seen is a perfect example of a company taking on a real challenge and developing lots of ideas to try and improve the whole production process. The 5S system actually consists of thousands of little daily operations which must all be well organized, completely understood by everyone, and maintained constantly. To get a system like this to work means encouraging all the employees to cooperate in a real spirit of teamwork. It is very easy to achieve some improvements and then gradually let things slip until the old problems reoccur. But if everyone realizes the value of the improvements, then the system can be maintained with confidence and a lot of satisfaction. Before we consider each step in detail, let's take a general look at the way the 5S program is associated with safety, efficiency, quality, and the elimination of breakdowns, as well as a few hints for 5S application.
First, the connection between the 5S program and safety in the workplace. Oh! Watch out! Oh no! Oh, just missed. Clearly, a dirty, cluttered workplace cannot be regarded as a safe place to work. A common feature of factories all over the world is the number of safety notices posted up everywhere. The only problem is that most of the time nobody pays any attention to them. But safety should be a prime concern in any workplace. Safety measures include the use of helmets, suitable working shoes, keeping your eyes open at all times for potential dangers, and so on. There are so many things to be considered. But, as we shall show later, a workplace which applies the 5S program properly not only has fewer accidents, there is even less need for having safety posters at all. Safety depends on proper care and good organization, precisely what the 5S program is all about. A concern for safety should become second nature. Next, let's see how the 5S program affects efficiency. Look at this shine! This will produce perfect parts every time. Now what's going on here? Well, this group is about to get going on an intensive 5-minute 5S cleaning operation, and they're pumping themselves up for it. By sharing the same purpose and working together like this, what is rather unexciting work is given more zest and is done more efficiently. And the more the 5S program is applied, the more efficient the whole workplace will become. Next, how does the 5S program affect quality? Hey! What are you doing in that pile of filings? The 5S program can help with this kind of problem too. Shavings or filings of metal and dust left on machines can be a major reason for reduced efficiency. If the accuracy of the processing procedure is reduced, bad products will be the result. And if this is caused by your own laziness, you have no one to blame but yourself. Just a bit of extra effort on everybody's part can make a huge difference. These days, everybody demands the highest quality. And that can be achieved by applying the 5S program. Finally, how can the 5S program help to eliminate breakdowns? Ah, wrong button! Woo, that was a close call. That's funny. It worked all right last week. The first point being made here is that making a mistake with buttons or switches can be disastrous. That's why clear labelling and preventative maintenance are an integral part of the 5S program. The second point is that breakdowns caused by the accumulation of dirt need never occur. We'll be looking at both these important points in detail later. The 5S program can bring about dramatic improvements in the workplace in terms of safety, efficiency, quality, and the elimination of breakdowns. But how do we go about applying the system in practical terms? The 5S program is a system that needs constant attention. It involves many seemingly unimportant tasks, and there is always the danger of being half-hearted about them. But an effort has to be made to identify even the smallest of problem areas and ensure that appropriate action is taken. That means systematic discussion, planning, and implementation of improvements, bearing in mind that improvements can only be achieved a little at a time. The world cannot be changed overnight. Here are 4 important general points to remember about 5S activities. 1. Fix the rules and stick to them. For example, decide how to do cleaning operations, identify unnecessary items, and make activities such as 5-minute 5S a regular habit. 2. A place for everything and everything in its place. This includes the provision of special tailor-made shelves and storage places for tools, and the use of proper marks and labels. 3. If nothing is done, nothing will improve. This means looking for good solutions to workplace problems, as for example in this case, where sloping trays and a vibrating channel serve to accumulate all the metal waste in one place. 4. If you can't do it yourself, ask for help. Once you've found a problem, then of course you try to find a solution yourself first. But if you can't do anything, don't waste time. Ask for help from someone in a related section. You might think that the 5S program simply states the obvious. In many ways that is true. But as we proceed to look at each of the 5 steps in detail, we hope you will realize what extraordinary changes can be brought about by the careful and continuous application of the organized common sense of the 5S program. Would you rather work in this kind of environment, or get rid of it once and for all and replace it with a workplace that is pleasant to work in and increases job satisfaction while ensuring reliable products? You might even begin to think about something like the pump garden in your own factory, a coffee lounge perhaps, or an indoor garden. All that's needed is the idea, the enthusiasm, and the willingness to make the effort. Now let's take a look at each of the 5 steps in turn. The first and perhaps most important step in the 5S program is clearing up. What this basically involves is the sorting out of what is really necessary and what is not, and deciding how to organize the workplace accordingly. If you take a careful look at your workplace, you will almost certainly find tools or gadgets that are broken or unusable or only occasionally used. All they're doing is cluttering up the place. So what can be done with them? Having made the decision to clear up the workplace, the first thing is to decide what to do with unnecessary things. Doing the job properly will also involve a major cleaning operation and fixing a policy for broken or useless items. Eliminating waste can be dealt with by classification or appropriate action at the source of the problem. If you think about how you use your tools, it should be easy to decide which ones are in constant use and which are hardly ever used. Frequency of use can apply to files, jigs, and all kinds of equipment as well. This process is known as classification. Once every item is classified, it is possible to decide what to do with each category. For example, workplace clutter can be avoided by storing tools which are rarely used in a special tools area somewhere in the factory for easy access when needed. This chart shows how to classify tools by frequency of use. Infrequently used tools can be thrown away or stored in a distant place. Tools with average frequency of use can be stored together somewhere in the factory. Tools often used can be carried around or kept at the actual workplace. So what do we achieve by all this? We can reduce clutter at the workplace and so improve efficiency. We can dispose of really unnecessary items. We can find what we want easily, and we can save a lot of time and effort. Now let's have a look at the kind of unnecessary things we might have and some of the places where they tend to accumulate. The list is almost endless. It includes bulletin boards, walls, outside the factory, etc. Shelves and lockers are the most obvious place to leave things, especially on the top and bottom shelves. Aisles and corners, just the places we don't want to have obstacles. All kinds of bits and pieces of work in progress get stuffed behind machines. All kinds of broken or unused tools, jigs, gauges and pieces of equipment are left lying about. Tools and raw materials can be dropped, mislaid, or even deliberately stored in holes, cracks and crannies, odd corners behind machines and cabinets, or even under the floor. Without constant attention, warehouses and storerooms quickly fill up and get cluttered. They can easily turn into giant wastebaskets. Classification of items can be done by frequency of use. Now, what about dirt and leakages? In any factory, if no action is taken, the situation can only get worse. One factory was able to reduce oil consumption by 50% simply by getting rid of leaks. The action taken here to get rid of dirt and waste was to collect leaking oil in a container like this and then remove it by a simple one-touch operation. Now let's take a look at the procedure necessary to deal with dirt and leakages. First, it is important to make clear the extent of the problem. Once you have established that, you can proceed with a major cleaning operation. The next thing is to make sure that the same situation will not reoccur. This means investigating the basic reasons for the problem. The fourth step is to determine the worst locations and list up priorities for taking action. Now is the time to investigate the reasons in great detail. Only then is it possible to consider what policy of action will get rid of the problems altogether. There are two different types of action depending on the reasons for the problem. Here is an example of taking action by using a device. Where previously a big cover was used to restrict the spread of sparks, a small automatic cover was installed near the cause of the problem. This is doing something to eliminate the cause of the problem, or at least to minimize the effect. Another type of action is needed when the problem is caused by inaccessibility. In the case of the metal filings, a solution was needed to make cleaning easier. Accumulation was the answer to get rid of waste. And in the case of the oil leakage, accumulating the waste in one place removed the cleaning problem. So the final step in the procedure is to decide on the budget and the schedule and then fully implement the plan. So now we have the complete list of the 7 steps necessary for dealing with dirt and leakages. It's a good idea to put them on a chart so that you can check progress and assign individual responsibilities. And just a reminder, Step 1 involves sorting out what is really necessary and what is not, and finding ways to classify or take action at the source. Also involved is implementation of a major cleaning operation and deciding what to do with broken or useless items in the workplace. Now let's take a look at a factory where Step 1 has been applied very enthusiastically. This factory produces machine tools, vehicle parts and mechatronics equipment. The first impression visitors have is how clean and tidy it is. The walls of meeting rooms all over the plant are covered with posters and labels, and one word appears many times: showroom, because this is known as the showroom workplace. What does that mean?
Well, the normal idea of a showroom is a place where fine products are on display and good service is evident. We decided to really concentrate on the use of the 5S system and the development of a showroom workplace. This idea has gradually spread throughout the plant and been eagerly implemented. The idea is that the whole factory is a showroom where we can demonstrate to our customers just where and how our products are made. So even before they buy from us, they can see our production system, workers, and general environment, and they realize we are producing things correctly. We have the confidence to do this, and the result is that our customers trust us.
Now let's hear from the group leader of the first section to be made into a showroom.
When we first heard about the idea of making a showroom workplace, all the members of my section were very keen on the idea, especially as we would be the first part of the factory to go on display. It was an experimental idea, but we all soon got involved in the necessary cleaning and tidying up. We thought it was a real challenge and it would greatly improve our working conditions. I decided that, as group leader, I would set an example, and I got down on the floor and did a lot of painting myself. It was a lot of hard work and involved a lot of planning, but, as you can see, the result is a spotless workplace which we are all proud to show to visitors. And it's had a great effect on the general morale of my team as well.
Now a word from a member of the group.
As a member of the group which was chosen to make the first showroom workplace, I realized that it wasn't going to be easy to completely clear up the section and make it suitable for anyone to come and have a look at any time. But we all decided to give it a go as best we could, and when we'd gotten the place ready and people started coming round, we were all very pleased to hear such good comments. All the other sections were very impressed too and wanted to do the same thing. Now we're all very happy to keep the workplace in the best possible condition at all times.
The reason for the success of the showroom idea in this factory was a very strict application of the principles of the 5S system, beginning, of course, with the clearing up procedures we've been looking at in this part of the video. The work proceeded gradually, step by step, but because of the enthusiasm everyone showed for working together, it was possible to create a new environment which always receives the acclaim of visitors. Now a few checkpoints for your workplace. Check 1. Can you find any unnecessary things cluttering up your workplace? Check 2. Are there any unnecessary cables or pipes just left as they are? Check 3. Are there any tools or materials left on the floor? Check 4. Are all unnecessary items sorted out, classified, stored and labelled? Check 5. Are all gauges and tools properly classified and stored? We hope you now have some ideas for how to proceed with the first of the 5 S's, clearing up. In many ways, the most vital part of the 5S program. Your attitude towards clearing up reflects your general attitude to work. By applying the system and ensuring that everyone in the workplace keeps the system going, you can achieve immediate and very positive results. In Volume 2, we will take a look at the next 2 steps.